Okay, you guys, in honor of Life of a Showgirl coming out, I have my orange and my teal on as well, just as like a little celebration. I'm like framing this video as revisiting Tortured Poets Department one more time before our new era starts, and that is with some book recs. I think our candle of this rec video is going to be Mahogany Apple. If you know, you know. Also, this Tortured Poets album gives me fall vibes. Totally fall, winter vibes. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah. Welcome to my first rec video in a long time. I love doing book rec videos based off of songs. Really, it's only been Taylor Swift so far, but I'm thinking about doing like a Gracie Abrams one next. It is the 14th when I'm putting this video out. Just finished editing all of it yesterday when Taylor Swift announced the day before that Life of a Showgirl was coming out, and I had recorded this like a week before. Like, I didn't even know that she was coming out with another album. T Swift 12, hello. In honor of Life of a Showgirl coming out, I have my orange and my teal on as well, just as like a little celebration. I'm like framing this video as revisiting Tortured Poets Department one more time before our new era starts, and that is with some book recs. I am so excited to see more about the new album. I got my vinyl, I got my little CD. Let me know what you think about Life of a Showgirl down below. I knew there were so many Easter eggs about it lately. I just didn't know when it was happening because there were like, I don't know, a bunch of false starts. I am gonna have some like little orange and teal elements to this video just throughout. If you see like random little teal and orange parts of this video, it was on purpose. It's for Life of a Showgirl. I'm so excited. Enjoy these book recs, I guess. The book worlds and the music worlds intertwine so perfectly. I think I'm really noticing this the summer I turned pretty, because now season 3 is streaming. I just watched episode 5 with Conrad. Oh my god, I can't. The music in that show is so perfect to convey the emotions of what the characters are feeling. There's a reason why authors put playlists in the beginning of their books, because there are so many songs that just relate so heavily to their characters. We are doing the Tortured Poets Department because even though this album came out over a year ago, I think we just reached like the 1-year anniversary a few months ago. I used to listen to it all the time on repeat on Spotify. There always is at least a couple songs from the Tortured Poets Department. I love it. I know it had a lot of mixed reviews where some people didn't love it, but I just feel like it's the perfect album to do rec videos for, because she got so much inspiration from books when she was writing this album. So that's what we're doing today. This is gonna be part 1. I did like my reactions or like my ranking of Tortured Poets Department a while ago. It's gonna be like that, where the part 1 is going to be like Tortured Poets Department album, and then part 2 is going to be the anthology songs. Welcome to part 1. Of course, I have to wear my Era's t-shirt. I got this when I saw her in Florida. We were there for I think night 1 of Miami. That was the first time Florence came up to sing with Taylor during Florida, and it was so fun. Oh my god, had so much fun that night. If I keep looking over here, it's because my laptop is on this cat tower. So this is where I have all of the books written down. There's a lot of new releases in these recs. There's a lot of fantasies, a lot of really popular romance books. So we have a good range in this. And I think there's one book that I related to 2 songs. For the most part, it's just 1 book per song. Fortnite. I chose Shatter Me. This is by Tahara Mafi. It's the first book in the Shatter Me series. I think Juliet is totally Fortnite. Some lyrics that relate back to it. What about Your Quiet Treason? Of course, because she's betrayed by one of the guys. I know there are 2. I think they have very similar first names, so I don't know which one it is. It's been a while since I read this series, but she is betrayed by one of them. Monday stuck in an endless February. She's miserable with her powers. This is a book about a girl who gets locked up because she has these powers where if she touches someone, she unalives them. So she gets locked up for most of her life. Her family basically locks her up. And then when she gets let out, she gets used as like a weapon to the reestablishment. And of course she doesn't want to kill people. She's been spending her whole life pretty much hiding from her powers. But now she's thrust into the reestablishment. She has to train and everything like that. There is a love triangle in this, of course. It's a YA dystopian. There's always a love triangle. Even this like color scheme. I feel like you can say it's very cold, very lonely. Monday stuck in an endless February. That's like, when Taylor wrote that, I feel like she was just saying like that is the loneliest time people could be if they don't have someone because February, Valentine's Day, Mondays, everyone hates Mondays. She just, every day she hates during the month of love where she doesn't have anyone. I feel like if you liked Fortnite, you would like Shatter Me. The whole series, it's a very long series, but I think you'll like it. The Tortured Poets Department, and how could I pick anything but Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows? Just the Letters of Enchantment duology in general, I feel like is perfect for the Tortured Poets Department. First of all, these are about magical typewriters, which I feel like that the Tortured Poets Department album is all about like typewriters and things like that, and these are about magical typewriters. I chose this Cyclone with You. That's why I did, instead of just Divine Rivals, I did both the books, because he literally follows her into war. He follows her into the front lines of war as a reporter, and I chose this Cyclone with You is like, that is the best representation that I could think of to relate that. I really liked this series because there was also some yearning in there, and I feel like Tortured Poets Department has a lot of yearning in it as well as like a song. Our one character, Iris, thinks she's typing letters and notes to her brother who's on the front lines, but someone else is actually getting them. And it's that relationship sort of blooms from there. They all start out as rivals, and I think that's always kind of a fun love story, a fun setting. The War of Gods is taking place during this whole series as well. I think it's so well thought out, and I love Divine Rivals. I love Ruthless Vows. My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys is, I'm actually reading this book right now, but it is Addicted to You by Krista and Becca Ritchie. So like I said, I'm reading it right now. I'm about halfway through. This is immediately what I thought of when I listened to this song, because Addicted to You is about two people, Lily and Lo, who both have addictions of themselves, where Lo is addicted to alcohol, Lily is addicted to sex, and they are part of this like higher society family. I think Lily's dad like made Coca-Cola products or something essentially. So they're part of this higher society, but they both have these vices, and the way that they hide their vices from their family is they pretend they're dating. They basically just date and live together and let each other just go on with their addictions, and they don't tell anyone about it, and they're the best cover because everyone thinks they're doing so well because they're dating, and they're really just letting each other give into their vices. Starting to understand that there's might be some real feelings there, and they're just self-sabotaging their relationship, that they could be so happy together, but they're being controlled by their vices. They're afraid to tell each other how they feel. Because I Fit to Ride Puzzle Pieces in the Dead of Night, like that describes them so well. So well. They both feel like they're stuck in this like dead of night state where they're just like victim to their addictions over and over and over again, and they fit so well together, but they don't let themselves be together. Down Bad. And for this, you knew from when I mentioned that I've been watching Summer I Turned Pretty, the Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy has to be in this video. So for Down Bad, I have the whole trilogy of The Summer I Turned Pretty. Do I even need to describe it? Because I feel like the episode that I just watched with Conrad is like him being down bad for Belly. And throughout the first book and even the second book, I think some of it, Belly is so down bad for Conrad. She's been down bad for Conrad her whole entire life. In general, I feel like specifically the third season that we're in right now, which is the third book, it's about how Conrad is realizing that he sabotaged his relationship with Belly, or he just wasn't old enough to be able to handle his relationship with Belly. It got with like his mom passing away and all that stuff. So he did do some self-sabotaging things to get her to break up with him because he felt like he wasn't good enough for her. And then left her. Like sabotaged it with Belly and then left her. For a moment I knew cosmic love. For a moment I was heaven struck. Belly loved Conrad her entire life. He was all that she wanted ever. And when they were dating, when they were together in that second book, she was like, this is perfect, this is everything I've been waiting for. Only it wasn't, and he was sabotaging it. And now she has to deal with the fallout of that. If you haven't read the book series, you don't know how it ends, stop here, go to the next song. This is the timestamp for the next song. But if you have read it, spoiler alert, Conrad ends up with Belly, they end up together, they are endgame. We should have known they are endgame from the start. If you haven't, if you didn't know they were endgame from Conrad's perspective that we got in episode 5, you should have used your inference clues. They are endgame and he has to learn to be better for her. Belly's down bad for Conrad in the beginning. Conrad, he's down bad for Belly in the end. The saddest track 5, of course. So Long London. And for this, I chose Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I read this book a while ago, but it remains one of my 5-star reads. All of these tabs here, I watched the Prime Video series so good. I kind of want to watch it again. And what's really cool about this book is it is all told in interview format. And I thought that would be annoying at first, but it's not. I highly recommend the audiobook. There's a new voice actor for each person who gets interviewed, so that's really cool and gets really immersive in the story. And this is basically about the birth of a rock band. But there is also a relationship between Daisy, and if you kind of see in her eyes, Daisy and Billy is the relationship, our main characters in this book. They were both so toxic for each other. They tried to make it work, but they always knew that they loved each other in some way. The issue was that Billy was with Camilla and they had a kid, and Billy was strong in the fact that I'm always going to choose my family, I'll always choose Camilla. I think there's even a quote in here that's like, I'll always choose my family, even if I love Daisy so much, I'm always going to choose my family, because he refuses to be like a dad to walk out. A moment of warm sun, but I'm not the one. Daisy, exactly how she feels when she realized that he's going to choose Camilla every time. Also, specifically, when I think about this book and think about this song, I think about this scene where Billy has to run off the stage and leaves Daisy, and she realizes that he's always going to choose Camilla. We have But Daddy, I Love Him, and of course, I had to choose Dark Romance for this one. How could I not choose Dark Romance? I chose God and Alice by Rena Kent. This is a book that I read recently. It is the first book in the Legacy of God series. It is about Killian and Glendon. Killian is basically part of the like mafia family, mafia college, bad boys, stuff like that. Glendon is part of the elite posher college. Sort of like stalker type obsession thing, because of course it's dark romance, and Killian is a legit psychopath in this. It's not for the faint of heart. Even the first couple of chapters might be very triggering for some people, so just take that as you will. The last person anyone in Glendon's family wants for her to be with is Killian. I think there's even a scene where Glendon's dad came around and Killian promised to take care of Glendon and all that stuff, and that made me think of that last verse. We came back when the fire died down, went to my parents and then came around. I'll tell you something about my good name, it's mine alone to disgrace. Glendon's family is well respected and Killian's is not. He has to win her over. She does not like him at first. Everyone in Glendon's life is basically like, don't be with him, he's dangerous. And she's like, but Daddy, I love him. It's like, love it. Fresh out the slammer. And for this, I chose The Prison Healer. You know I had to choose a book where there was a prison involved. This is by Lynette Noni. It's the first book in a trilogy. I haven't read the other two books, but I did read this first book. I think I read it in a video, like a 24-hour video, I'm pretty sure. It is about Kiva, and she is the prison healer there. In this world, all the like most dangerous criminals come here. There's also like powers in this world, if I remember correctly. And Kiva gets sentenced here. And then she just kind of grew up here, and then she became the prison healer to basically serve her time. Then she meets, of course, a love interest, a guy, while she's healing them. If you know the ending, I took this in not as much as a romantic way, but just like the twist at the end. I did my time, fresh at the slammer, I know who I'm running to. So good, that reveal at the end. I thought it was so interesting. There are trials in here. Florida, I don't have this one, but I chose First Light Wins. This is our one and only thriller in this recommendations video. Again, I read this like beginning of this year or maybe the end of last year. I don't remember exactly what it is, but it is about this girl who has to go undercover as like the perfect wife, I think. She finds her assignment that she has to figure out, but then there are like, you know, feelings develop and things like that, and it complicates things. And of course, it's a thriller. There is a twist at the end that I didn't see coming. I loved it. And specifically, some of the lyrics I chose. Pack your life away just to wait for the shitstorm down in Texas. Florida will use you up. She does find an escape in her new assignment, if that makes sense. Guilty as Sin, my favorite song on this whole entire first part of the album. And of course, I had to do one of my absolute favorite books. It is part of a series, but specifically the second book, A Court of Mist and Fury, part of the ACOTAR series. Everyone and their mother, I'm sure, has read the ACOTAR series at this point. I remember this one specifically totally relates to Guilty as Sin. Reese is part of this book, and it's when he becomes her escape in a way, and she keeps thinking about him because Reese like helped out with Feyre in the first book. Tamlin has to make a pact with Rhys, and it basically means that Feyre can live with Rhys for like a few days out of the month or something like that. It ends up being her salvation, and it's so good. It's so good because she hates him in this arc. She hates like the High Fae of, what's it called? The High Fae of the Night Court or something? High Lord of the Night Court. She hates him. The tension is so good. And of course, guilty as sin. But secretly, he even says it in this. You figure it out. I forget which book it is, but you figure out there's a time when she was like basically begging him to save her without her knowing that's what she was doing. So, very much guilty as sin. Even that first quote, "Down in the Blue Nile, he sent me downtown lights." Just the images that he sends her. And my boredom's bone deep. This cage was once just fine. Talking about the spring court, of course. She was so bored because Tamlin was so overprotective of her. And then tonight, he's a paradox. Seeing visions, am I bad or mad or wise? Of course, she has mixed feelings about Rhys. Oh my god, I can't tell you how perfect this book is for this song. So perfect. If you haven't read the ACOTAR series, you need to. This, I feel like, is my favorite book of the ACOTAR series. I feel like that's generally the consensus. This is everyone's favorite book of the ACOTAR series. If you've read it, let me know because I'm curious, but I feel like everyone pretty much likes the second book. Who's Afraid of Little Old Me? One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. This is the first book in a duology. In this world, there are these cards that is like the magic system, and Elspeth gets this like sickness that a lot of people get, where a card, like the nightmare, gets stuck in her essentially. It's like the inner voice, but there's actually like a demon inside of her essentially from one of the cards, and she gets this fever. But everyone who gets the fever gets killed because they can use magic and people are scared of magic and all that stuff. Elspeth gets hidden, so she has survived the basically great purge of all the people that were affected with this fever. The sound of the song is such a good representation of this book as well. A few quotes. You don't get to tell me about sad. If you wanted me dead, you should have just said she's literally in hiding because, you know, people don't know that she still has the fever and she survived. And then that great line that Taylor does at the end of, "You should be." Oh my god, so good. And no one really knows her power, the power that our main character holds throughout this first book. The scandal was contained. They thought they contained the curse within her. You know, it's just perfect. If you read this book, listen to Who's Afraid of Little Old Me, and you will agree with me. Perfect. 6 more left. I'm going to speed through these next couple because The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived, I have such a good one for it and I want to talk about it. I Can Fix Him, No Really I Can. Another dark romance. Had to be. And this is where I'm going to do 2. So, first is Scarred, one of my favorite books ever by Emily McIntyre. It's the second book in her Never After series. It is a retelling of The Lion King. It's about Sarabi and Prince Tristan. Tristan is the Dark Knight, and Sarabi is literally sent to marry his brother, his like golden boy brother. But she does want to take down the whole dynasty from the inside out. Perfect for it. I Can Fix Him, No Really I Can. He is the Dark Prince. Everyone considers him like the Dark Prince brother type thing, and she's the only one that can tame him. I also have to say Manacled. I just finished reading Manacled. It was so good. I know I've been talking about fanfiction more and more on this channel. I try to mention it a lot anyway because I know a lot of people aren't super into it. But I Can Fix Him, No Really I Can is absolutely manacled coated. His hand so callous from his pistol softly traces patterns on my face. Draco, hello, the High Reeve, comes to his little shack with Hermione, and that's where he can be soft and softly, literally I think there are a lot of scenes where he like softly caresses her face, and I'm just like, oh my god. And he has been using the killing curse. Basically a pistol the entire time, and then he comes home to Hermione, or he comes to the shack to his little rendezvous with Hermione, and it's perfect. Everyone sees him as broken, and Hermione literally fixes him so many times. So many times she heals him, and even his soul. Oh my god, so good. If you haven't read Manacled, read Manacled. If you haven't read Scarred, read Scarred. They're both so perfect. I Can Fix Him, No Really I Can. We have LOML, so of course I have to do a sadder book, and the one I chose is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Another 5-star book. This book was so heart-wrenching to me. I also got a little edition where it has pictures because I love this book so much. Also, March 13th is a very famous date in this, and it's also my birthday, so that's also why I loved it. Basically, there are several relationships that she has in this book that can relate to the song LOML. The one who put her in this position of starting her off with the curse where no one can remember her in the first place, and then also the one that helped get her out. Without giving too many spoilers, that's all I'm gonna say. There are several times when I feel like the LOML lyrics relate to what happens in this book. Still alive, killing time at the cemetery, Taking this literally, she is basically a ghost. She's lived forever, but no one remembers her, and that's her curse that this guy placed on her. The god who placed this on her, I feel like relates to LOML a lot. It's such a sad book for a sad song. The end of this book made me cry. They were for so long, she's only had this one relationship with the god, the only one that could remember her, and then she meets someone else, and Path I Could Do With a Broken Heart. And for this is the one where I reused Daisy Jones and the Six, because sequin stars reflect off her silhouette every night. The show must go on even when Daisy's heart is breaking. And this is the one where I specifically think of that last scene where they're doing a really big concert and Billy has to leave Daisy, and it's like this really beautiful moment where she like watches him go while she's singing, and it's just, she knows that that is the final nail in their coffin, essentially, where they are never going to be together when Camilla's in the picture. She literally performs with a broken heart over Billy all the time, and Billy never chooses her. I Can Do With a Broken Heart is absolutely Daisy Jones coded. And now, the smallest man who ever lived. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bullet points for this song, because I think that this book relates so well to it. We have Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. You're probably sick of hearing me talk about this book. I've been obsessed with it since I read it, since I saw the movie. I've been absolutely obsessed. I've been watching edits constantly, and some edits are The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived. When I saw it on TikTok, I was like, oh my god, perfect for my book reads video. This is the Hunger Games prequel about Coriolanus Snow and Lucy Gray. Snow is a mentor, Lucy Gray is a tribute in this, and they, you know, fall in love. But if you read the book, this is a book about a narcissistic man. Like, this is from the perspective of a narcissistic man, and I feel like that is what the song The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived is about a narcissist. And that is what Coriolanus is in this book. Now some lyrics from the song. In public showed me off. Absolutely. When he found out that Lucy Gray was his golden ticket to winning the mentorship, winning the Hunger Games, essentially, even though she was the one that was in it, he considered it as him winning the Hunger Games, a very narcissistic thing to do, and getting the Plint Prize in public showed me off. Absolutely. He made a show about showing her off because he wanted more sponsors for her. I can totally imagine Lucy Gray singing this to him. It all seemed like a game to Snow, and then in the end Lucy Gray knew she couldn't trust him because everything felt like a game with him. Were you a sleeper cell spy? He was a spy for the Capitol. There was literally, even not with Lucy Gray, but literally he is a spy for the Capitol for one of people that trusted him in this. It wasn't sexy once it wasn't forbidden. Absolutely. Essentially, he realized he did not like this like living on the run, living off the land thing that Lucy Gray has. That's her life, basically, of being in the cubby. They live off the land, they live on the run, and he didn't like this. All he could think about was that he was too good for this lifestyle. There are specific scenes that I remember highlighting where he's like picking worms for like to fish, and all he can think about in his inner monologue is like, I'm too good for this, I shouldn't be doing this, like way too good for this type of paltry living. And so perfect. It wasn't sexy once it wasn't forbidden. When everything was good and it was a forbidden thing, I think, personally, I do think that there was a part of him that liked the draw of Lucy Gray because it was forbidden, and also because she was his golden ticket. She could do something for him. You deserve prison, but you won't get time. He does several acts in here where he should go to prison, but he never gets time because he slips through the bars and he tricks his way up to the top. And even you kicked up the stage lights, but you're still performing. Even after the games were over, he was keeping up this act with Lucy Gray, of this act that he thought that she wanted to forward his own ideals. And that's why The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived is totally related to the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. So good. I loved that prequel. 2 more songs. We have The Alchemy, and you know it. You know that this book was going to appear in a rec video because there is never a rec video I do where this book does not appear. Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. I want to say like all of Magnolia Parks books essentially relate to The Alchemy. This whole series is about how BJ and Magnolia are, especially in the beginning, like toxic for each other, but there's this undeniable alchemy, this undeniable chemistry between them that just keeps pulling them back to each other, and they keep hurting each other and they can't stop. Ditch the clowns, get the crown, baby, I'm the one to beat. There was never even a chance for anyone that wasn't BJ for Magnolia, and that was so sad in the second Magnolia Parks book. So sad. Or in the Daisy Hates book, that was, and we totally saw that in Daisy Hates with Julian. Oh my god. I still think about that quote. I still do think about that quote that Julian said. Let me read it to you now. From the perspective of the boy that will never, that she won't pick over BJ. It's the great undoing of my heart as I know it. She made herself at home, kicked off those cerulean heels, put her feet up on my left rib. Over the mantelpiece, she hung her own portrait up herself. Best painting I've ever seen too. Better than any woman has ever painted in the history of time. A face I'd win battles for, a face I'd lose anything for. Even her. It's time. I love her more than I've ever loved anything, and I thought I might have been able to angle it, find a way for us to work, a life between where I can be who I am and love her how I do, and it not be the death of her. But it's not in the cards. It'd be the death of her, and I won't be. Chills! Chills! I have chills from reading that quote. Oh my gosh, Julian. The sign on your heart says it's so reserved for me. The whole rest of the book, up until Into the Dark, is about Magnolia and BJ, dealing with what BJ did to hurt Magnolia so deeply that we found out in the first book. And the rest of the series is about them trying to navigate that and get over that. It's just BJ and Magnolia, the alchemy of BJ and Magnolia. This is one that I have also so many tabs for. Even, let me just read you, if there's any couple who the alchemy represents of there's something chemical between them that makes them be together, it is Magnolia and BJ. Too much of my life, maybe even too much of who I am entirely, can be traced back to him or us. Everything wonderful, everything magical, everything painful, everything beautiful and spectacular and wretched and defining that has happened to me happened with him. And I hate him for that. Ah! Oh my god, I'm gonna cry again. I need to reread this book. I need to reread it. Last, we have Clarabelle. And what other book could I pick for Clarabelle besides Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid? You can fully not convince me that our mastermind Taylor Swift did not end her Tortured Poets era with Clarabelle on purpose as a little Easter egg to her next album, Life of a Showgirl. Literal songs are some names of people that have been famous, like Clarabelle. She's a mastermind. You can't convince me otherwise. It's basically the telling of a story that's of the most famous actress of her time. There's a journalist that is chosen to, essentially Taylor Swift, Marilyn Monroe level famous. That's the type of celebrity that Evelyn Hugo is. She's like into her years of life, and Monique is this new journalist that is chosen for some reason that you find at the end, which is such a good reason, such a good twist, chosen to write her biography. And of course this is like going to be an instant bestseller. It's basically a golden ticket for her. That is the Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. That's what it's about, and basically her rise to fame. There's so many quotes in here that relate to some lyrics in Clarabelle. All your life did you know you'd be picked like a rose. No one in my small town thought I'd see the lights of Manhattan. Promised to be dazzling. Taylor, in the end of the song, Taylor admits there will always be someone younger that replaces her, and Evelyn experienced that as well in her life. She is Clarabelle. Evelyn Hugo is Clarabelle. Those are all our recommendations. Let me bring you over. That is the end of all of our recommendations for Tortured Poets Apartment Part 1. I love all these books so much, and I highly recommend you read them, especially if you love those songs that I mentioned, especially the Tortured Poets Apartment. That is gonna be it from me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.